So hello everyone and welcome to our first YouTube video of 2023. Now, rather belatedly, a very happy new year to you. Originally I meant to do this in December, and we were going to do it as a kind of review of the year and the things that I learnt and, you know, some of the great things that we did. Unfortunately, in December, I came down with a little bit of severe man flu, and I know it will please some of you, certainly please my wife, is I lost my voice for a few days, and then I was croaky for a couple of weeks. So I couldn't do anything in terms of recording. So, you know, those that were waiting on some TDW Plus tutorials, etc., I couldn't do it. And I know some of you were asking for some more guidance on the IPS toolkit, and I just couldn't record. I just couldn't do anything. So hopefully I'm back now, although yesterday I was at a Middlesbrough football match and I was in full voice, so hopefully that's not going to come through. So originally I was going to do it in a slightly different fashion, and I was going to take you out and about, and we were going to go and do a vlog and talk about some of the wonderful things that happened in 2022 and what we wanted to achieve in 22 and what some of the successes were, and more importantly, what are some of the things that I learnt in 2022. So I'm still going to do that. I think it's important that we do that and have a look at some of the trends that I was seeing in 22, some of the things that you guys shared with me, and then give you a little bit of an insight into what you can expect from us in 2023. Now, I've got my notes on a screen in front of me here. Hopefully it's not too bright, the screen. I've tried dimming it a little bit. I've tried to make it very nice and kind of colourful and something a little bit more exciting for us to look at. So what did I learn this year? Well, firstly, I've been extremely lucky in 22. I managed probably, I'm going to talk about, you know, 23 and it being our full 10th year of running TDW. So 2023 is quite an exciting year. But in 22, I did a tremendous amount of travel. I think, you know, we were ramping up again post-COVID, and you know, there were industry events on, which were great. I went to the Raytheon event, which was the first time that I'd been to that part of the United States, which was a really good event. I really enjoyed that. There was the Seattle event, which was the S1000D user forum, which was also a really good event. And I went to DVD here in the UK, and those of you who are not familiar with what DVD is, it's an event that focuses on land forces here in the UK for the military, and I'm lucky enough to get a press pass for that, and I was allowed to go and walk around and take pictures of some hardware and, you know, talk to people, met with some TDW vendor members, and so spent some time with all of those. And what I learned from that event is actually the increase in message on product support in terms of IPS, ILS. You know, there was definitely more companies there talking about that side of owning our products. And I've done loads of stuff on YouTube this year on you know, why we need to involve our customers and engage our customers more. So those were really fantastic events, and it was good to see that we all were able to get back together again. And then in November we held our annual TDW Live, and easily our best event. All of the conference feedback that we've had from those of you that have sent it in, both those that attended online and those that attended in person, saying that hands down it was our best event, and I absolutely agree. On the back of the presentation that I did there, I did a presentation on you know, are we S1000D ready, and is S1 kind of this subheading was, is S1000D appropriate for my project? I've been invited to give that workshop in a couple of organizations already, so looking forward to doing that. What did I learn in 2022? Well, firstly, I learned a tremendous amount from you guys that were sharing stuff with me, sending me messages on LinkedIn, emails, those of you that have connected with me on Facebook, and those of you that came up to me at those events and talked about your challenges, your successes, and shared some of your project intimacies with me. So I deeply appreciate that. And I think that the first thing I learned is that there is a thirst for everybody to kind of share the knowledge that we have gleaned, where we're allowed to share that knowledge. And I might talk a little bit more about that. I think I might have mentioned this in 2021. I've certainly mentioned it in a couple of YouTube videos. It's nice to see the fresh and emerging engineers coming into our market. And what I mean by that is that, let's be fair, traditionally, a lot of the people that are involved in our domain are either second career or they are mature in their career journey. And we need a succession plan. We need successors to come into our domain. And we're seeing that. And TDW Live this year, there were some great young people presenting on some really good topics. Those presentations, by the way, are available on our new techdataworld.online. I'll provide a link down below. I am seeing now it started in 2020, and now I think, we all agree that our market is a slow burn market, and there is a real desire for projects to improve their technical documentation. And whether that is using things like S1000D or something else, which is, another workshop that we delivered in 2022 was, a technical documentation strategy workshop for a couple of clients. And we looked at the options and the routes that are available to us. But there's a real desire from organizations now to improve their technical documentation. And I'm doing a tutorial right now, which I've outlined, which is why the technical document is essentially the coal face to the end customer with all of the IPS domains behind it. So, and I'm working on that right now. The software vendor market is very much looking at how the S-series specifications are going to evolve, mature, and if they are actually going to become something seriously that they should be looking at and they should be developing for. In Vienna, there was lots of people professing that they had S-series capability, not all of it, but elements of it. Certainly the vendors that I speak to and the vendors that are happy to share information with me, there are some that are actively looking at elements of the S-series specifications and how they should be implementing those into their into their software suite or their capability, which incidentally, I'm now getting an increase in questions around training around elements of S-series beyond the traditional kind of S1000D, S2000M stuff that I do. I'm developing a course right now for a client that wants me to kind of explain a little bit about what the S-series is going to be and how they should be implementing it on their particular project. One of the biggest takeaways I took from TDW Live was Mike Barter from the MOD here in the UK gave a great presentation at our conference. And I didn't realize that there were different flavors of IPS. And Mike had a great slide that showed, kind of the crossover between what the ASD S-series is going to be and what the United States S-series is, or not S-series, sorry, IPS already is. So my biggest takeaway from TDW Live is that there are different flavors to integrated product support, and which is critical if you are looking for a training provider. So I took that away, and I've already told and pre-warned Mike that I'm going to be stealing that slide and turning it into something that can go into my training material. One thing that a couple of you have said to us, certainly that we've sat down and met with, is that we keep getting asked, if you think about TDW in the early years, we tried to do something different. We tried to do something fresh. We tried to do something a little bit more engaging. And we had cartoons. We used a lot of cartoons to kind of demonstrate what it is we wanted to talk about. based on a couple of conversations I had with some, shall we say, some more mature guys that are in this market, they thought it was downplaying and dumbing down a little bit what the domain was about and what we were trying to achieve. And so we kind of removed the emphasis on the cartoons. But I've had loads of you come to me saying, where are the cartoons? We used to love them. So we're going to do our best to bring some of them back in 2023. In my training material already, you can see that we've put a couple of fun ones in when we look at, the frustrations of dealing with IPS or S1000D and integrating technical publications, etc. So we've taken the decision to bring them back. And so we will do our best to not downplay the market and the importance of what we do, but to try and just add a little bit of colour and a little bit of fun to what we do here. This is something that I'm getting involved with more and more now, is that there are organisations who are trying to increase their internal capability around ILS, IPS. So in the past, everybody outsourced and everybody kind of found an outsource agent. I think that will still be, a requirement. And, in 2022, I helped a number of organizations outsource their technical publications capability. I helped them identify some service providers. So, but we are definitely seeing now that should we say, some of the bigger boys and girls are saying that they want to increase their ILS teams. That introduces another problem, which I'm working with a couple of, should we say, senior engineers in organizations that they've identified a challenge, which we're going to talk about on YouTube over the next kind of few weeks anyway. So those were kind of some of the things that I learned during 2022. It was a massively busy year for Claire and I. I got to know many of you personally, those of you who I did training for, and I was fortunate enough to go all around Europe in person, but I did a lot of virtual training as well for those of you that are further and far afield. I got to know many of you individually, which was fantastic. I met dancers, photographers. I met some photographers, and I've met people that were artists, musicians. You guys are super talented out there, and a lot of you shared a lot of your kind of external passions to tech docs, etc., and learning things like S1000D with me. So, and those of you who have shared with me, those of you who are photographers who have shared with me your images, blown away by the talent that's out there. Absolutely amazing images. And I'm talking about one particular guy in Sweden. You know who you are. Those images that you showed me were just proper National Geographical kind of level. Unbelievable. So what for this year? So what can you expect from TDW this year? Those of you that just follow us on YouTube and social media, and those of you who are actually subscribers and work with us directly. Well, I plan to go to a number of events already for 2023. At the time of recording, next week here in the UK is something called the Support Chain Seminar. So Claire and I will be there, and we're setting up a table. We're not sure if we're going to get any value out of that event. I'm going to do a YouTube video on it. I'm just wondering whether what we do might be a little bit too deep in the weeds for that particular conference. So we'll be there. TDW Live, the dates are already set. Claire is, one of the reasons Claire's coming to Bristol with me is because she's going in to sign the contracts, because we've had to change venue this year for TDW Live. And ironically, we think we've found, shall we say, a better venue that can help cope with the size of our event now. So that's happening. And the Jacksonville event, the S1000D user forum, that will be in Jacksonville. Right now I'm planning on being there, and I'm even thinking I might even set up a table there. So it depends on pricing and making sure that that event does clash with a pretty major UK event here over the same dates. So I know that already some of the people that I work with here in the UK, they're having to decide whether they're going to go to Jacksonville or whether they're going to go to DSEI, which is a massive event here in the UK. So I think, a bit of an own goal there that they didn't communicate on what was going on. Those of you who are TDW Plus members, you are going to see an increase and more improved content. So you can see that up on the screen behind me right now. We've migrated away from the old learning management system, which was just becoming a little bit clunky for us to manage. And so now we've gone and had a learning management system implemented for us that provides scalability. We don't have to worry too much about maintaining the back end. Somebody else is doing that for us. And it's got some really nice little features in there that we can really improve the content and how we deliver the content to our TDW Plus members. Q1 for me is already pretty full. I'm got a couple of consultancy tasks that I'm involved with, and some training tasks that I'm involved with already as well. So Q1 is already pretty much maxed out, and I'm helping a couple of organizations look for some software solutions, and there'll be more on that for our members to let you know who's looking for what and how you can get involved. I've already talked about TDW Live. Thank you to those who have already come on board as sponsors already for an event that's not happening in November. So we've got CDS, Etaplan, Raytheon, and there was one other, and I apologize if I forgot. TLM Nexus. So TLM Nexus have already come on board. I did that off the top of my head. You impressed? So I'm working on a number of papers. I had a request from the United States in December saying, can you help us understand what S1000E good looks like and what it actually means to implement this stuff. So that's prompted me to dust off some old papers that I've written, improve them, maybe add a little bit more content, and look at how you guys can benefit from that and how I can make that available to you in exchange for your emails. And so keep posted, subscribe to the channel here to be notified when they're available. On the platform that's on techdataworld.online, there will be free content being made available there as well. So, I've said before, I think a few years ago, putting all of your eggs in one basket is a really, really dangerous place to be. If YouTube decided to shut down Tech Data World tomorrow, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's important that we have content hosted in other places as well. So we're doing that on our new portal as well. So those of you who are not able to access YouTube from your offices due to maybe some restrictions or something, you should be able to access techdataworld.online. So we'll be there as well. I am going to be doing as much as I can for YouTube. The problem with YouTube for me is A, it's hard work. It really is tough. And B, is that I get sidetracked really, really quickly. I was supposed to record this last week, and then I got 2 requests in from customers that needed me to provide them some guidance on some stuff. And so, of course, YouTube always then gets pushed backwards. But that being said, the upside is I do have a whole list of tutorials that I want to do. So just to let you know how we're thinking it's going to work, is YouTube is going to be kind of what it's always been, which is enough information to get you going, enough information to give you some background. But then what we're going to do is put maybe a fuller tutorial on techdataworld.online, and then whether we decide that's premium or whether that's something that you can access for free will also be up there as well. So YouTube, I'm trying to be as consistent as I can be, but because I make zero money from YouTube, when a customer screams, I have to jump. So and the scalability is a problem, which is what we hope techdataworld.online is going to fix for us. So if I come up with a tutorial, I can record it, and then guys can go off and do that themselves. We are working on a webinar kind of schedule right now. We're going to kick off with something with Etaplan, and so keep posted on or keep subscribed on here, you'll get notified when we release that and we launch our kind of webinar series. We're currently thinking about how do we do it. Do we do it as live sessions through techdataworld.online, which we can do, or do we do it in the traditional way using things like GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar and that kind of stuff? So that's what you can expect for us this year. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has shared things with me, sent me documents, sent me LinkedIn messages, and not only that, has given me permission to use your real world examples as either here on YouTube or in my tutorials, or those of you who have given permission, providing I protect your innocence, to add slides to my training content. You know, those of you who have shared with me real world experiences of how long it took to get S1000D working right for you, those of you who are actually seeing benefit, those of you who are saying that it's an absolute waste of time, and and then we can dissect and look at and share that data and that information with the community. So hopefully that then becomes a kind of a knowledge base for our domain. So a massive thank you to everybody who does that. I do my best to respond to everybody. I don't always achieve it, and it's not because I'm being rude. It's just because sometimes I'll just forget to answer. And please send me reminders if you're looking for something. Those of you who have asked me my opinion on what you're doing on your project truly humbles me. And in Vienna, a couple of people came up to me and asked me my opinion on certain things. I'm just a guy with a big mouth who's happy to talk about tech docs and talk about S1000D and talk about structured information. And those of you who come up to me and say, look, you're thinking about doing this, what do you think? That truly humbles me, and I thank you for that. And it means that what we're doing here at TDW is providing a platform for discussion and debate, which is really, really important. Those of you who have extended contracts with me for 2023, and those of you who have renewed your membership and your sponsorship for TDW, those of you who have already signed up to TDW Live, a massive thank you. You guys out there in the community are making TDW a reality. If it was just me sat on YouTube, I'm pretty sure that we wouldn't be here for very, very long. So I know that a couple of you, again, this kind of comes into another comment I made earlier. Those of you that are asking to reference the material that I'm producing for YouTube for academic papers and your studies, that again is truly overwhelming. So, and I thank you for asking me and not just doing it. And I know that a number of you have referenced me and my LinkedIn profile in your dissertations and in your papers for work for your schoolwork. So I appreciate that, and it's truly humbling. It does rub the ego a little bit, but it's truly humbling, and I appreciate that. I just want to say that the day that TDW Live started last year, I got the terrible news that we lost a friend. And, a guy called Brigadier Nick Knudsen, who was instrumental in where my career went and how my career evolved, both in the military and when I moved and transitioned into the civil world, passed away. And it was truly shocking, because we had only just been communicating, sharing messages on how we were going to meet up and go out for the day and have some lunch, etc. So it was pretty quick, and so I wasn't my normal bubbly self at TDW Live last year, because I was literally told the day that we arrived to run the conference. So Nick was somebody who really helped kind of guide me on where and what I could be doing with my career. And he is one of those key people that is why I'm sat here where I am today. So truly gutted when I heard that. And I'm going to try and get down and see his wife and that very shortly, and hopefully go and pay some respects. So here from the TDW Haven, I wish you all the very, very best for 2023. Please do continue to send me your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, your questions. I've had some really good questions already this year, and what we mid-January. Some are asking about QR codes, some are asking about bots, some asking about IETP solutions and what kind of IETP solutions could work in their organization. Thank you for everybody who sends in comments, questions, ideas, suggestions. You help guide the comments or the content that I create here. So I wish you all the very best for 2023. Those of you who I'm training over the next few weeks and months, looking forward to sitting down with you and training you. Please do share the channel. I've set myself a target of last year. We set ourselves a target of hitting 600 subscribers by the end of December. We smashed that. I think at the time of recording this, I think, are we at 671, I think. So I've set myself a target of 800 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's try and get ourselves to 800 subscribers. We are by far the biggest independent YouTube channel here for our domain. And when I look at the demographic of who's subscribing, it's really quite interesting. The majority of our views come from people who are not subscribed. So please do subscribe, and then we can. It's not my intention to turn on, is it advertising revenue, etc. on YouTube? That's not my intention. That's not what this channel is about. I'm just trying to grow a community of best practice and common interest. So that's it, guys. That's what happened in 2022. That's what you can expect in 2023. If you are going to see me at any events, etc., please do come and have a chat. And I'm more than happy to sit and discuss anything with you, even if it is your photography. Anyway, until the next one, if you're at the Support Chain seminar, do come and say hello to Claire and I.